Happy Monday, everybody. On my way to go take care of a couple of things here. Got to get some parts, do a little business here and there. Um, but yeah, just thought I would make a little stream for you guys because, well, I had recorded. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I was saying that I was recording a video that was a little bit more prepared, not a live stream video, like a regular video on my phone. And I edited it, made it nice, and was going to upload it from my phone straight to YouTube instead of just live streaming like I have been for the last couple months here. And every time I go to upload this video through the YouTube app, it like fails. It won't let me upload it. So I'm gonna have to put it, I don't know, I guess I'll try to put it on my computer instead and upload it from my laptop like my other normal videos have been. Although I have uploaded quite a few videos through my iPad, so I might try to see about if I airdrop it from my iPhone to my iPad to see if it'll let me upload it that way. It's nothing crazy, just something a little bit more prepared. But in the meantime, I thought I'd make a little stream, kind of talk about what's going on here while I'm just kind of cruising around here. It's actually doing these streams while you're driving or when you're going places is actually kind of nice. It passes the time pretty nicely, and it's a good opportunity to sit down and talk to you guys and everything. So I kind of don't mind it that much. But yeah. So I checked right before I started this stream, and looks like I'm at 293 subscribers. And then, so here's what happened. I had like 280 something. I got up to 293, and then I was like, oh darn, I'm gonna hit 300 really soon here. And I think it was last night, I looked at it and it said 301. I was like, okay, cool. Tomorrow morning, because this was like late last night, I was like, cool, tomorrow morning I'll hop on and make a little stream, thanking everybody for the 300 subscribers, all that jazz. Then I woke up this morning and it said 293 again. I was like, well, maybe this is a glitch and it's just stuck at 293. But then I refreshed the app a couple of times, still said 293. Then I was like, well, we'll see what happens a little bit later on in the day. And then before I made this stream, it still said 293. So what I think happens is, and maybe somebody that knows more about YouTube can explain this to me, but I think YouTube will take subscribers off if they're not like active users or whatever. I just commented and said it says 302. So that's what I'm saying. It's showing me a different number than it shows everybody else. YouTube is kind of weird, because even when I go to YouTube on my app, it says 293. And so I don't understand why it does that. So Greg's saying that it says 302 on his side right now. On my side, it says 293. But I mean, honestly, the subscriber count, pretty much anything between 100 and 1,000 starts to be a bit of an arbitrary number, because once you have your first 100, you start getting like the YouTube permissions to do like live streams and stuff. I think I was able to live stream before I had 100. Well, I definitely was, but it was pretty close, because like the app wouldn't let me live stream for quite a long time. Like it would let like other people I knew that had a few more subscribers live stream if they logged in even onto like my phone from their app, into the app onto my phone with their account. But if I was logged into my account, the option to stream wasn't there. And then once I started getting close to 100, is somewhere in there is when it started allowing me to live stream, and started adding a few more features. And um, so, pretty much once you hit 100, that's a pretty good milestone. But like the difference between 100 and 300, as far as YouTube is concerned, is pretty minimal. Hey, that's an i8. There's a BMW i8 right there. See it? I think that's an i8. Huh. Coming out of the truck stop with their $250,000 car. I'm not really sure how much an i8 is worth. I know it's a lot of money. More than any car I've ever owned. And we're not like in a super wealthy area, but I guess everybody has to stop for gas, even somebody in like a mostly electric car had to stop at the gas station. But yeah, what was I gonna say? It like I was saying, anything between 100 and 1,000, like the differences get to be kind of arbitrary. Once you hit 1,000, that's a pretty big milestone, because that's like the threshold to like start monetizing what you there we go. Had to adjust my mount here a little bit. I was crooked. Once you hit 1,000, that's like a little less arbitrary, because that's when YouTube starts letting you do more things. You can monetize your content. Not that you'll make that much money off of it, because you gotta have a pretty good amount of views and stuff and watch time mostly. I hate doing this driving down the road, but I never get the mount quite straight the way I want. So yeah, once you hit 1,000, things become a little less arbitrary, and then pretty much like 1,000 to like 10,000 is probably like everything in between there starts to matter a little less. But it's an exponential thing. I'm getting subscriber, now that I'm at pretty much 300 than I ever did when I was at, like, I think when I started doing this, I had a little bit of a head start, because I had a video up for a while, and then I took that video down, and I had another video up. So over time, I had like accumulated like 17 subscribers. So I started off really with 17, and then I pushed for like almost a year just to get to 100, and then in a couple months, like I got to 300 after I was at 100. So it's exponential. It's like growth on top of growth. So that's cool, and I really appreciate it. I'm gonna try and like every 100 subscribers, at least until I get to like 1,000 anyway. Every 100 subscribers, I'm gonna sit down and just take a second to tell you guys it's really cool that you guys took the time to subscribe, that you found whatever I was doing or saying pretty useful, and just letting you know that I'm working on it. It's tough because right now this whole thing is in a stage where it's just it's kind of like building a house. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't get much out of a house when all you have is the foundation, but without the foundation you can't build a house, kind of thing. So this is just the beginning stages of it, and I'm not able to make any money from it. This is pretty much like a volunteer effort. All of my time and money and effort and everything, it's not reciprocal between me and the website. I'm pretty much just driving traffic to their site for free, but whatever. I'm not trying to do this to make money, but it would be cool if it would at least pay for itself. It's at best a hobby. Paul Tracy says, do you ever consider becoming a male model for a beard trimming company? No, because I'm very ugly. I didn't know there was a beard trimming company that you could be a model for. If somebody that has such a company, I would think I guess like maybe $5 Shave Club or whatever. Like they sponsor a lot of videos. If they want to sponsor me, I'll probably shave my beard, because it'll grow back. My beard grows really fast, actually. So, but yeah, I've never heard of a beard trimming company. So what else is going on? So Paul Tracy says, "What are you going to work on today?" All right. Well, today I've got a couple of things. I'm going up to the junkyard. I got to pick up an engine at the junkyard, and I'm going to pick up some parts for this Volkswagen Jetta I'm working on. The Jetta needs a ton of interior parts that are just like nickel and dime stuff. Stuff like a headliner and the covers for the A-pillars, that kind of thing. So I'm going to see what I can get out of that. Try to get that stuff off without breaking it. So I'll look back. There's a cop up here. And I think Greg commented and asked if I ever buy from Copart. So the thing I do know about Copart, because I have actually hauled a boat to Copart for a customer, which was an absolute disaster. I actually made a video about what happened with that boat. But essentially, this guy had contracted me to transport, I want to say it was a mid 20 foot, maybe 30 foot cuddy cabin boat. If you know about boats, then you know that a cuddy cabin is essentially a boat where like you drive it like just like a speedboat. Like on the outside there's like a steering wheel and all your controls and everything, and then there's like a little area down below where there's like a little half-ass bed type of thing, and there's like a kitchenette little thing, like a little stove and a fridge down there, but it's really small. And I don't think this one even had a bathroom in or anything. It was a cuddy cabin, so you could sleep on it, but it was like pretty much one step above sleeping in a tent. So I had to haul this boat from this town called Ruckersville here in Virginia all the way to Copart, which is in Sandston. So Ruckersville, if you're looking at Virginia and you're looking at it on a map, Ruckersville is way out west, like almost into the mountains. It's actually pretty hilly out there, almost into the Appalachians. And I had to haul it all the way across from Ruckersville to the other side of Richmond. Somebody just tried to call me. Sorry about that. I had to decline the call. It was a piece of shit telemarketer company. So I had to haul this boat. I want to say it was on the upper end of 200 miles or so. And the boat was on a trailer. It was on like an aluminum trailer with like one of those brakes that's like attached to the tongue of it. So it was like a hydraulic braking system. So when you hit the brakes, the trailer pushes on the ball and it squeezes the cylinder and pushes hydraulic fluid into the brakes on the trailer to slow it down. I don't know what they call that system, but I've hauled a couple trailers with it. They're usually meant for like smaller duty truck applications, trucks that wouldn't have a trailer brake controller. And this thing had been sitting in these people's yard for a few years. And I took one trip out, and before I even went out to pick up this boat, I asked the guy over the phone, because the guy basically took like donations and stuff for a company, and he brokered facilitating the donations getting to the auction. So like if you donated your car, basically this guy would go and he would figure out how to get the car that was donated to the auction to be sold for this charity company. And so he called me, asked me for a quote. I gave him a quote, and I said, but this is dependent on the trailer being towable, meaning the tires got to be good, the lights all got to work, everything. And he said, oh yeah, everything works, this and that. Everything's good to go. And I said, okay, is there a plate on the trailer? And he said, yes, there is. I was like, okay. So I assumed everything was on the up and up on this thing. And I roll all the way out to Ruckersville, which was like 150 miles from where I live. I get there, and absolutely nothing was right. No lights on the trailer. Like, literally, there was only one hooked up to anything. The tires were dry rotted to hell. They all held air, but they were dry rotted really bad. And there was no license plate, no registration on the trailer. So I called him back and I said, you need to sort this out, and I'm charging you a trip fee, because I'm not riding all over the state for free, man. And if you don't like it, you can have somebody else haul. So he goes and he buys one tire, and has me put it on. And then I say, okay, well, you still got 3 other bad tires, and I still towed it. I put like magnetic trailer lights on it, and I hauled it. And it was such a regret, dude. Like, every other tire blew up on this thing. It was a fiasco. It was a huge mistake. I should have made him get it right before I took it. At least the tires. And it took me 3 times as long as it should have to haul this thing, because I kept blowing tires on this stupid freaking trailer. But that was my experience with Copart. So Paul's been commenting, trying to get my attention here while I was trying to tell that story. I know, like, his most recent comment, which I'm sure he's already retracted as usual. He asked me if I was running blocker for 400 cases of Coors, which, you know, hauling Coors beer this side of the Mississippi is bootleg, and I would not be involved in such a criminal enterprise. So some people are gonna be like, Coors beer isn't bootlegging on. What are you talking about? They obviously don't know the Smokey the Bandit reference. But yeah. So, what else? So, getting back to the Copart thing. So the thing with Copart is, they're not a bad company per se, but if you're a private individual trying to buy cars off of Copart, you're pretty much not getting that good of a deal. Number one, they are charging all kinds of fees on top of what you're buying. So if you're bidding on something, you know, if you're bidding on something and you bid it up to like whatever, $1,000, you're probably going to get charged like $400 or $500 in fees. Well, and a lot of the stuff at Copart is wrecked. Not all of it, but a good amount of it. And I can just buy wrecked cars straight up off of somebody before I'll go and bid on one here. And Paul's trying to mess with me in the chat. So this is what sucks with Paul's chats. He retracts the message. So when people play back the video and they bring up the live chat as the video was running, they're not going to see that he even sent a message, because it only shows message retracted. And then, you know, so then they just don't know what I'm talking about. And he thinks that the NSA is watching him. But the fact of the matter is if the NSA is watching him, I'm saying his name, Paul Tracy, and I'm reading the message as they come out. So I don't know what he thinks he's fooling. Like, he's not fooling anybody. He's just retracting the message and making me look crazy. So anyway, some people, man. Some people. At least he is active in my streams, so I can't complain too much. It gives me something to talk about. But yeah, let's see here. Trying to tell me that there was a snake in my back seat, everything. Oh, buddy. Coming up the exit here, just crossing over. Paul thinks I have a future as a model. Yeah, you know, I'm sure that I would. I'm just, you know, seen too many of the casting couch videos, and I'm just not willing to put myself in that situation, man. I don't want to be on the casting couch. Thanks, but no thanks. Coming up here, get a little bit of little bit of fuel. Paul says, "Ha ha, funny." I think Paul wants to tell me that I have a future as a model, and then next thing that's gonna happen is Paul is gonna be like, "I have an agency, and I would like you to audition." And then he calls me in, and then there's that ominous leather couch, man. And then Paul's gonna try and have his way with me. Yeah. See, he isn't even denying it. So, getting a little bit of fuel here. Let's see. But yeah. Second here. Take you guys with me. Wendy's. You want some Wendy's? There's no Wendy's over here. There's a McDonald's over here. Paul was asking me if there's a Wendy's, but there's not. There is one up the street though. Okay. So here. There's my card. Paul's trying to guess where I'm going. Well, right now I'm at the gas station. It's a little early in the day for Wendy's for me. So there's no diesel at this pump. Paul said don't push diesel by accident, but there's no diesel here. See, it's an old school pump. No diesel at this one. There's a gas station a little bit closer to my shop. I want to say that the gas station by my shop that I'm thinking of is a BP. I think it's a BP. So at the BP stations, is it a BP? It's something like that. Anyway, whatever type of gas station it is, the convenience store part of it is a Circle K. So at this gas station, all the handles to the pumps are green for the gas pumps, and there's two pumps there that will run diesel, but they have a different nozzle, and so it's like backwards, because normally I'm used to like seeing a gas pump with a black handle and then the diesel has a green handle, but here it's backwards. All the gas pumps have green handles and the diesel pump has a black handle. And one day I pulled up to it and I just like naturally grabbed the black handle thinking that the green was diesel like normal, and I was like trying to put it into the gas hole and the pump on a diesel pump is actually bigger, so it won't fit into the hole for the gas. Like if you have a gas truck, like a diesel nozzle won't fit in there. And so I'm sitting there for like at least a minute and a half, like what is wrong? I'm like looking in the hole and everything, and then I turn around and I realize it was a diesel nozzle. So I put it back and I pick up the gas nozzle, no big deal. And then one day I pulled up to the pump right next to it, like kind of behind it, you know, like one pump is here and then the other pump's here. So I'm at this back pump and I'm facing up here, and there's a guy from I think it was Florida. He had Florida tags, and he was like a pretty professional looking dude, and he's got that diesel pump, and he's like trying to get in his car. He has like a nice, like I think it was a Lincoln MKZ. It was basically like a Ford Edge but a Lincoln. And oh Jesus, I made a mess. So he's like trying to get the pump into there, and you know, he was the same thing as me. He was like just thinking like green was diesel like normal, and I see him mess with it, and finally he just gives up, and he's like trying to like make it pump, and then it won't pump because so like on that pump, if you know how like you have a button that says like 87, 92, 93, whatever. Well, on that pump, like the diesel button is separate. It's its own thing. And so he's trying to pull the handle, like saying, "Frig it, I'll just hold it," and it won't pump anything. So I hear him saying, "What is wrong with this thing? What the hell?" And then I finally get out. I was like, "Hey, yeah, that's the diesel nozzle. So it has like a safety control to keep you from accidentally pumping your car full of diesel if you somehow can get it in the hole." And he's like, "Oh man, thank you. That saved me a lot of a lot of heartache. I was like, well, I don't think you would have ever got diesel in there anyway. It would have spilled all over the ground, but you're welcome. So, needless to say, it's a common problem. And I don't know why this gas station does that. They should change it so that you can't accidentally do that. So, but Paul says I should dress up in a suit and sit down in a chair by a fireplace and talk about philosophy and about how people are crazy. Well, I could do that. I'm not a philosophizer, if that's a word. People are crazy. You know what's really crazy right now, and I don't mean to get political about anything here, but this whole movement of people trying to add pedophilia to like the LGBT thing, that's pretty crazy, man. Oh yeah, and Paul thinks I should smoke a pipe. But yeah, I don't understand what, why that's a thing. Like, why it's like hurting their credibility. I mean, I totally support people's rights to do whatever they want, but I kind of draw the line when you're talking about people trying to go after like little kids and stuff and saying like that's a right that they should have. That's not true. And I think that's just like a bunch of people that want to do shitty things and have like public support for it. It's like somebody posted like pictures of all these people trying to get support for that, and they were like, this is disgusting, they shouldn't allow this on the internet. And I said, well, it is a freedom of speech thing. They have the freedom to say that that's what they like. They have the freedom to support it, but we also have the freedom to like tell them and put them in their place and tell them that they're freaking disgusting. And like, it's not even like disgusting isn't the issue, honestly. I mean, yeah, it's a bad thing, but the issue is that you're violating other people, and it's like taking advantage of people and stuff, and we don't have to support them, and we could also, if people are saying that, then we know who to look out for. You know what I mean? Keep your eye on that guy. So I didn't mean to get too political. I hope I didn't lose you guys, but yeah, that's my philosophy there. Paul traded to General Robert Lee. Well, no. I am not related to General Robert E. Lee because I believe most of my ancestors resided in Canada during the Civil War, and those that were in Germany during the Civil War. So, no, I don't think I would be related to General Robert E. Lee. Unfortunately, that's another interesting topic to get into. So, down here in the South, there's like a lot of people that are all into like the Confederate flag type of thing and everything like that. And I don't have a dog in the fight, man. Like, I didn't have during that time. So, but when people talk about it, they're like, it's about, they're like saying that the Civil War wasn't about slavery, this and that. And I'm like, well, I like to know I like to have a citation on that matter, because as far as I know, that's what it was about. I get it. If you had family that fought for the Confederacy and you support it and everything, man, that's your freedom of speech right. You can fly that flag all you want. It doesn't bother me one bit. But I'm also not willing to muddy the waters on the story either. Like, let's just be honest. They wanted to secede from the Union because they wanted to maintain their states' rights, and the states' rights being namely what they called their right to own slaves. They saw that as a right, or not necessarily their right to own slaves, but their states' rights to make laws about owning slaves. That was like the catalyst for it. And when people try to muddy the waters and change around, what happened here, I think that's just a disservice for everybody. Like, let's just be honest, I mean, that's what they wanted to do, and You know, there was a different time back then. I don't think that people that were trying to make laws about that kind of thing one way or another would even feel the same way that they did back then. I mean, it's just the way it is. So Paul says, put a sock in my pants to get chicks. Whoa, what do I do? I'm like, well, Paul, if you're putting a sock in your pants, you know, that's fine, man. I hope you roll it up, and I hope you use more than one sock, unless it's like a really big, thick tube sock. But if you have like one of those little ankle socks, and they're like really thin, I don't think it's gonna help you much. But if you have like a pair of like big, thick tube socks, and you roll them up, and you stick them down there, like when you fold them up and put it in your dresser or whatever, yeah, man, the bulge. But my honest advice to you is not to do that, because I mean, at some point or another, you know, your goal ultimately would be to bring your whole thing that you're trying to do to volition. You're trying to get her home and do your thing and all that. So if that's what you're really trying to do, you know, you're trying to do the pants party, as they call it, you're not going to want to false advertise. The women at Harbor Freight seem to like it. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure that they do. You know, I bet the women at Walmart would like it even more. But, you know, if you get them into a private, intimate setting, you don't necessarily want to break it out and get laughed at. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to try and to advertise a false package here. That's all I'm saying. But do you want, man? It says, dang, I didn't even think of Walmart. Paul Tracy said, dang, didn't even think of Walmart. Yeah, man. Walmart is where it's at. Paul says he's going to Walmart today. I'll see you there, Paul. We'll see how it goes. I'll be your little wingman or something, I guess. So, we got 8 miles to go here. Well, 8 miles until I get off the highway, and then probably another 5 or 6 miles once I'm off. So, yeah, that's what's going on. So, what else? You know, with the title of the video about 300 subs, I gotta say, the bigger this channel gets, it seems like the more hate I get. Like, I don't understand if it's just a thing about the mentality of people. Like, if something is like popular or whatever, or, you know, a lot of people have looked at it, they want to they want to go and say something to detract from what you're doing, and like, they're just coming out of the woodwork. People I've never heard of before or anything, and sometimes they have like a valid reason, because I'm not perfect, and I don't think anybody is perfect, and there's plenty to criticize me for. You know, if you have criticisms of me, feel free, as far as that goes. But sometimes the stuff they're saying is just like not correct or isn't constructive, and that's when I started to get like, okay, well, you know, what's your end game with that statement? Like, are you just trying to like make me feel bad, or you know, I mean, if you want to make me feel bad, go ahead, but let's just be honest about it. You know, I'm gonna take you more seriously if so, you know, if you want me to take you seriously, all you have to do is go and just say something legitimate, you know, like a legitimate criticism. Be like, hey, you know, you said this, but this isn't correct. Here's this. I want to show you this. Look at this. You know, this whole thing of like when people, for instance, I have one video up here, and I'm sure if you're a subscriber, you probably have seen it, or if you haven't, feel free to go and watch it from a while back, where I was talking about these scan tools from Harbor Freight, these ZR11, ZR13 scan tool. And in the video, all I did was I said, yeah, it's false advertising. So if you go into Harbor Freight, you go to where all these Zurich scan tools are, there's a big chart. And on the chart, it says like which level of scan tool does what. So like once you get to the ZR11 and the ZR13, those are the ones that are supposed to display live data. And so when you look at the chart, it has a check mark next to it, live data on the ZR11. And I bought the ZR11 because that's all I wanted. I wanted to be able to watch my sensors and monitor what is going on. I had another Harbor Freight scan tool back a while ago that ended up being borrowed and not returned. And it did that, and I found it really useful for trying to diagnose issues. I needed to replace it, so that's what I was looking for. And I saw the ZR11. It was the cheapest one that showed live data, so that's what I got. I didn't really need the extra things. Friggin' telemarketers keep calling me, man. So I was saying that the ZR11 was the cheapest one that would display live data, so that's what I got. I got the ZR11, and literally on the front of it, there's a button that's supposed to take you straight to live data. It says LD. Everywhere in there says press LD to show the live data menus. That's the way you get to it. It says it in the user manual, and it says it online in the online user manual. And when you press it, it would just bring you to it would be the same thing as when you press the DTC button. And so apparently it was not fully functioned at that time. And you know, that's the way electronics are, right? When they build electronics, when they're designing them, they are shooting for a certain list of features, but they might not have all the features fully there yet. So what you do if you are a guy that manufactures electronics or sells electronics is you go and you don't advertise that feature. And then, you know, so then you could sell the higher end one that is supposed to have that feature. And that's what my problem was with it. I didn't think that they were like outright trying to scam me, if that makes sense. I just thought that they were, you know, putting the cart before the horse. They're getting ahead of themselves on what the features were of their products, and they should have not put up a sign that said they would stream live data when that functionality was not available yet in that scanner when I bought it. So I made a video about it, and I got this flood of people way later, a lot of them way later, saying that their ZR11 doesn't. Well, here's the thing, man. We're talking like 6 months later. It's a whole new version. I mean, how often do they update software? This video was uploaded months and months ago, and you're gonna come onto the video and talk about your updated version of it when it's not applicable, okay? The ZR11 now is not the same tool as it was then. And the reason why I don't take it down is I'm just talking about the mentality of Harbor Freight and the way that they do things. They don't really care. They just want to sell the stuff. And sometimes they make changes to it, but call it the same thing. So you could buy one version of it that's good and another version of the same exact thing that is bad. If you look at like people that have like reviews of Harbor Freight tools, a lot of times they will cite like a specific SKU number and be like, this SKU number is not so hot. Don't buy this version of it with this SKU number, but this other SKU number of the same tool is good. And the reason for that is Harbor Freight changes the SKU numbers on their products because they'll change, like they'll make a small update to the way that it's built or designed or where it's built, and they'll update the SKU number. So this is like an ongoing thing with Harbor Freight, and this is the way that they work. And I was making the video because at that time, the ZR11 only had one SKU number available. And I think since then I think they've added one or two. I have to go back and look. But when I made the video, there was only one version of the ZR11. There was only one SKU for it. Now, since then, I've been in the store, and that SKU is no longer actually available in the store. They've updated the SKU and the product. So yeah, the you have right now probably doesn't have that issue, unless you had like some leftover one that was still on the shelf, because they won't throw away the old ones. They'll still sell you the old one and hope that you know, you don't complain about it. And I think a lot of times people don't complain about it, and that's how they get away with it. But that's just the fact of the matter here. So all you guys that are getting mad about that stupid video, man, it's just, you know, I'm just pointing out something that happened to me. It happened. That's what happened. Then they're talking about like, oh, the screen is scratched, it has a thin film over its protective covering. No, it doesn't. Neither one of them had a film over the screen. And I really, like, I almost picked off my whole screen because so many people came out and said, oh, it's got a protector on it in the package and the protector scratched this and that. Dude, I almost picked off my screen with a pick trying to get this stupid protector off, and there's no protector on it. I know maybe other versions, newer ones, where people complained about the scratch on the screen, they might have put a film on it since then, but they're not all the same. And, you know, everybody's trying to act like I'm the idiot. You know, I've been buying Harbor Freight tools for a long time, man. I know how they work. I know how Harbor Freight works, and I understand. But yeah, you know, and so like there's that, and then there's, you know, obviously people that are fans of Rick Dyer, they're gonna come out and put hate on me no matter what, because I said something bad about their Messiah. You know, Rick is their own personal Jesus, and anybody that says anything bad is the devil and whatever. I mean, I'm over that. That don't bother me. You can say whatever you want about me, man. Like, if you're, you know, a person that's getting all upset about something said about Rick, then, you know, you don't got a lot of sway in my opinions. So, yeah, that's what's going on there. I'm almost to where I need to go. Getting close-ish, a couple more miles. I'm off the interstate now. I guess it's still a highway, but you know, like an interstate, they have, you know, it's different. You know, it's not an interstate highway. It's just like a 4-lane road through the whole country. So I'm getting there, getting where I'm going. So yeah, I'm gonna try and figure out the video that I did make and I edited it up. I'm gonna try and figure out a way to get that put up on YouTube here for you guys to watch and maybe enjoy. And I want to thank you guys for watching this far. I mean, we're on almost 45-minute long video here, so if you like it, give it a thumbs up. You know, leave a comment, any suggestions, comments, concerns, anything, any questions you got that you want answered. I'll do my best to take care of you, and I will catch you guys in the next one.